Grant-Kohrs Ranch National Historic Site. There's RV parking.
It's like an old little homestead.
Your destination is on the right.
The visitor center is really small and it's completely outside. There's a volunteer here, and whatever little items they have, like patches or pins, you tell her and then she goes inside, brings them back out, and then you purchase them.
So this is a working cattle ranch, and it has been since 1831.
Yeah, so for over 160 some years. And
the stuff that's here is original, 99% of it, she said. Or 90%, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So like
so what happened was, in the 1965 or so, the National Park Service started looking for an active running cattle ranch because they thought that America was kind of losing that part of the history, and they wanted to keep it for other generations. And then in 1970, this cattle ranch actually came available to the market, and they bought it in 1972.
You got horses. See their brand?
National Park Service.
They're friendly. There's a buckboard wagon with steel wheels, and they're wired on. See the wire? Pretty cool. Like the railroad came past here too. You got a path here, you go underneath the train trestle. Looks like to the homestead. There's a nature trail here you can take, but also there's some of the cow. And one of them is a longhorn, isn't it?
There's one, two, I see three longhorns.
Three longhorns? Oh, okay, I see them now. Three longhorns.
And then some other type.
Good fences made bad neighbors. The Homestead Act of 1862. And they started building fences, and they didn't like it. There used to be, this used to be open range from all the way, this is where in central Montana, roughly. Used to be central or open range from central Montana all the way down to Mexico.
That's from there.
So when the Homestead Act passed, people could buy land out here. So when they bought land, of course, they put fences around their land, and it was no longer open range. So there was range wars.
A lot of battles.
A lot of battles.
There's a movie about it. Kevin Costner's in it. It's called
Yeah.
Open Range.
Open Range.
The bull.
So Grant
That's the first person here.
is the first person here. Kohrs was from Germany. Well, Grant had an Indian wife, it looks like.
Yeah, he had several women that he married from different American tribes at the Northwest. These bonds help forge alliances with each tribe.
And Kohrs, he bought his wife from Germany, it looks like. He was a butcher in New York, sold sausages in New Orleans, shipped logs down the Mississippi, and worked in a distillery.
Grant actually chose this ranch site because of its rich grasslands and abundance of water. He completed his house in 1862 as a trading post and a family home. He first traded cattle with immigrants on the Oregon Trail to build up a large herd. He lately heavily profited from selling meat to miners during the gold rush.
So new settlers were racist and shady in their businesses.
So he sold
So he sold it to Kohrs.
And he moved back to Canada. With
Yeah,
his family.
he moved back to Canada. A wagon?
Yeah. And they have a big storyboard up here that shows the open range. It was all over Montana, actually, all the way down to a piece of Texas was the open range here. It was actually the Louisiana Purchase is what started it.
Yeah, but this was all here was open range.
Yeah. There's the, I can't see, the stove. This is where the cowboys' room was. So this was one of the original parts. It's hard to see through the glass, but it shows his office.
His book's a typewriter.
This is Kohrs, or how do you say his name?
Kohrs, yeah.
Kohrs.
John Grant used this for furs and hides for trading.
But it's actually kind of tall for that time.
Yeah.
So this is part of the original structure from when Grant was here. And then they just built the rest of the bunkhouse around it. Huh? There's a saddle. Canteen.
They use scrape pine.
Yeah, so this and that other part that we just seen was part of the original structure from 1860.
Dining room. And the kitchen's off the end. A lot of wooden stoves too. It's cold up here, I'm sure.
Yeah, in the winter. And then in the summer, it was really hot. Well, it could get really hot.
A good meal, didn't it?
Well, they had cattle to eat, but they sold most of it. But I'm sure they ate some of it.
Oh, it's got all
Oh, I seen the
work on it. It's pretty.
the detail. That's when it was
Heat
the
that
Grant.
up in the iron, in
And
the
that-
fire, and
That was Grant's brand. There's the old laundry thing. I can't think of what it's called. If you know what it is, put it in the comment below. I can't think of what they were called. This is also where they cleaned themselves. This would be their bathhouse and laundry room. Is this their...
saddle making and all the horse equipments, like your thing you put your feet in, stirrups, bells for cows.
Of course, it has its own heating system. I don't know if you can see the
See the
saddles.
saddles.
I'm seeing your shadow in mine. If you can see them back there.
It's really cool.
I don't
Yokes
see
for
me.
oxen and horses. Get these set up for practicing lassoing.
Especially they do demos,
Uh-huh.
especially for school.
Wow. So it's a laboratory.
Well, he used it to work on his animals.
So you got this set up, you can see all the harness work for a horse. To
This
hook
was for a team of horses.
Look at all the work on the, look at the beadwork and
There was Conrad, how do you say his name?
cores.
Kohrs Company Ranch, Deer Lodgemont. Belgian horses.
Fully
Giving
near.
birth, whatever animals they were. It could have been any of the animals. It says all the animals, not just.
Here's an oxen cart. You see the yokes in the oxen cart.
Here's a couple of their sleds.
Sleighs. Well, those are neat. They called them cutters. It's an 1890s cutter.
Here's a buggy. Look at the buggy behind you. It's a something buggy.
Phaeton. They made cars too, I think.
And then this one is a sure.
This one had fenders and rubber tires, which were rare.
This is a two-seated from the 1890s. Sure.
Surrey.
Yep.
Two-seater buggy.
1890s. And this one is a mountain buggy from the 1870s.
Had an iron frame so it could go over the mountains and a leather top.
And then over there's a wagon. It's a regular wagon.
It had durable brakes. I don't know if you can see the brakes on there. Probably for going down hills. Come in handy.
There is a McCormick Deering grain binder.
Grain binder.
You want me to show them the whole part, how it works.
So this was the transition between horsepower into the machine age. But it had actually an engine in it, didn't it?
Well, it had a pulley system. You can see there it has some type of.
There's no engine.
There's no engine, but there's pulleys.
But you pulled it along.
Yeah,
behind the
and then the
tractor.
pulleys would make the chain move. See the chains?
Mm-hmm.
And then that made that move, and then it would fall on that.
So basically an early combine.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Here are some just those little, I hate to say this, but when we see the Amish running around on ones like this.
Oh yeah, well fine.
Yeah, they're like a 1%.
Silky.
These are from the 1890s, and these
Two
are
wheelchair.
original from the. They had these here. Which one is this one?
The Daughtery wagon.
California cart.
These were used for long distance travel because they could. This is like a camper in this day.
Yep. Here's another sleigh. Here's a wagon. So we're transporting people and baggage. It was in the 1870s was when this one would have been used.
Never used on the ranch. He owned it, but he never used it.
Yep. And then over here is the road grader. Believe it or not, we had a road grader.
Similar to that.
Similar. Ours was a little bit wider.
It was a one-seater too.
And ours was a one-seater, just like this is a two-seater.
Yeah.
And we gave it away. We should have kept it.
Yeah.
We had it to make our roads in our campground.
It's a dump wagon. You throw your stuff in it.
It's called a Troy wagon, but it's a dump wagon. I don't know if you can see, but
It's got levers there. You can open up the back like a dump truck.
yeah, see the little levers. So this is the pre-dump truck. And then there's the gear that makes it run around. It's a washboard. Isn't that what it's called? My question earlier in the video. If that's what it is, let me know.
Daughtery
Boy.
wagon. It was used for long distance travel. But when they had the battle at the Big Hole battlefield, which is close by, they used it for an ambulance to bring soldiers back that were wounded. And in 1877, in 1883, the Kohrs family actually took this wagon to Yellowstone National Park for a 7-week vacation. This is what they stayed in for 7 weeks to visit Yellowstone National Park.
That's pretty cool. It was also used for, later adapted for use in Civil War ambulance. What you would see probably on the Oregon Trail.
Yeah,
This is a chuck wagon that they had.
basically a mobile kitchen.
You always see them in movies washing their hands or whatever in the little pot. There was their water.
prep space.
Spices.
Spices, coffee.
Then it had all the little
utensils.
cabinets. Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
Little side cabinet. And then there's where you would ride. If you enjoyed this, we did not realize that it was this big.
We really liked it.
And we really enjoyed it. And there's even more that we haven't even showed you on video.
This is some sort of wagon that has a barrel on the back.
It kind of reminds me of a German keg.
It does look like a keg. Or water wagon maybe, or
I don't know.
maybe it's a beer wagon, but see the hose bib on the bottom?
Maybe it was there, like the water.
It's got a hose bib down there.
Yeah, it doesn't say what it is.
It's really cool.
And here's a smaller one of those hay balers.
Michelle's gonna play cowboy.
I can't even swing it.
You gonna do it from over here?
Not very far. I think I would have got the hang of it.
Try it again.
You gotta put more.
Here's the goal. Lassoing that wooden cow.
Well, I think so.
Yeah, that's not very good.
This isn't a good rope. I got the swinging part down. Hey, this is a little short. You try it. I was straighter. Okay, well, neither one of us are going to make it in the cowboy world right away. No. Actually, the rope is really stiff. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give us a thumbs up, a like, hit the subscribe button, and hit the notification bell. Thanks for watching.